Hello students, welcome to your WebSeek Academy English channel. Today, we will discuss the lesson I believe that books will never disappear, which is a part of your second PUC English syllabus. This interesting and thought-provoking piece is based on a conversation between Jorge Luis Borges, a famous Argentinian writer and librarian, and Roberto Alifano, a close friend and fellow writer. About the interview. Jorge Luis Borges, 1899 to 1986, is an Argentine short story writer, essayist, poet and translator born in Buenos Aires. His work embraces the character of unreality in all literature. His most famous books, Fictions, 1944, and The Aleph, El Aleph, 1949, are compilations of short stories interconnected by common themes, including dreams, labyrinths, libraries, mirrors, infinity, fictional writers, philosophy, religion and God. Believe that books will never disappear. Interview with Jorge Luis Borges. About the interviewer. Roberto Alifano, Argentine poet, storyteller, essayist and journalist, was born in the city of General Pinto, province of Buenos Aires, in 1943. His books have been translated into several languages. From 1974 to 1985 he worked with Jorge Luis Borges. I believe that books will never disappear. Summary. This lesson presents excerpts from a face-to-face interview between Jorge Luis Borges and Roberto Alifano. Jorge Luis Borges was an Argentine short story writer, essayist, poet and translator, who became partially blind at the age of 55. In this interview, Borges shares his views on the importance of books in the era of globalized electronic communication. Incidentally, Borges shares his observations about a few other topics like poetry, metaphors and literature as well, besides expressing his feelings about his mother and his blindness. Alifano, the interviewer, asks questions about each of the topics mentioned above and Borges expresses his views in response to them. The interview begins with the first question, "What was your first literary reading?" In reply, Borges tells him that the first literary work that he read was Grimm's Fairy Tales in the English version. Then Borges tells his interviewer that he learned more from his father's library than by high school or the university. Alifano then asks Borges to speak about his mother Donna Leona. Borges tells him that his mother was an extraordinary person who showed him a great deal of kindness in his life. Then he continues, telling the interviewer in a confessional tone that he feels guilty for not having been a happy man in order to have given his mother the happiness she deserved. He also feels that he should have shown a better understanding of his mother. Then, he generalized the issue stating that it is true of all children that when their mothers die, children feel that they had taken them for granted, while she was alive, like they do with the moon or the sun or the seasons and feel that they have abused their mothers. However, this truth does not dawn on such children before the death of their mother. Then Borges adds that his mother was an intelligent and gracious woman who had no enemies. Then, Alifano asks Borges apologetically what blindness meant to him. Borges, in reply, tells him that blindness is a way of life not entirely unhappy. He adds that as a writer he generally believes that all persons must think that whatever happens to him or to her is a resource. He believes that all things have been given us for a purpose and an artist must feel that more intensely. Borges is of the opinion that all that happens to us, including humiliations, misfortunes, and embarrassments are given to us as raw material as clay so that we may shape our art. Alifano endorses Borges' idea quoting from Homer's The Odyssey. The lines quoted by Alifano are taken from this poem, in which the poet tells the reader that it is the gods who make man's life tragic so as to weave a song for future generations to sing. This idea is based on the belief that men write songs in order to soothe the mind when they recall their woes. After listening to Alifano's quote from The Odyssey, Borges adds a little more to highlight the same idea of man's life being troubled by many undesirable events. Borges tells Alifano that in one of his poems he has said that humiliation, misfortune, and discord were given to us that we may change them and using our miserable circumstances create works which last forever. Then he quotes from Goethe, all that is near becomes far. Here again, Borges is referring to the loss of his eyesight. In the line quoted here, Goethe is referring to the evening twilight when the things closest to us seem to move away from our eyes. Borges is quoting this line to tell Alifano that the visible world has moved away from his eyes forever. Borges then adds that his eyesight has been replaced by many other things. Then he tells Alifano that it is his duty to accept blindness and still enjoy it as far as possible. Therefore, he tells Alifano that he still continues to pretend that he is not blind and buys books to fill his house with. Alifano, hearing him mention books, asks Borges to speak about the theme of books. In reply, Borges tells Alifano that he had a very strange dream in which he had seen the Library of Alexandria burning, its countless volumes attacked by flames. Then he asks Alifano whether he believes that his dream has any meaning. Alifano replies that it may have some meaning, but then continues his interview asking Borges whether he has ever thought of writing a book on the history of the book. Borges tells him that he won't be able to write such a book though it is an excellent idea. He wonders whether an 83-year-old man can set such a project for himself. Incidentally, Borges tells him that he will keep it in his mind. Then Borges tells Alifano that Spengler has already made an effort in this regard in his Decline of the West. In this book, Spengler has made a remarkable comment on books. Then Alifano refers to Borges' comments, in one of his essays, about the words of Bernard Shaw, in which he has declared every book worth being reread has been written by the Spirit. Borges agrees with him and tells him that a book goes beyond its author's intention, which may not be right. Borges declares that in every book there is a need for something more, which is not easy to understand. Then he gives the example of an ancient book. He tells Alifano that when one reads an ancient book one feels as though he or she was reading about all the time that has passed from the day it was written to his present day. Borges concludes saying that a book always retains something sacred, something mortal, something magical which brings happiness. Then, Alifano asks Borges to define poetry. In reply, Borges says that poetry is something so intimate and so essential that it cannot be defined without being oversimplified. If one attempts to define poetry, it would be like attempting to define the color yellow, love, and the fall of the leaves in autumn. Borges then states that poetry is not the poem but it is the aesthetic act, the poetic act that takes place when the poet writes it, when the reader reads it, and it always happens in a different manner. Then he adds and says that when the poetic act takes place, we become aware of it. He then concludes declaring that poetry is a magical, mysterious, and unexplainable, although not an incomprehensible, event. He feels that the poet should be deemed to have failed if one does not feel the poetic event upon reading it. Alifano then adds, telling Borges that the important thing in the art of poetry is finding the precise words. Borges agrees with him. He then states that precise words elicit the emotion. He quotes the line, "This quiet dust was gentlemen and ladies," from Emily Dickinson's poem to illustrate his statement. Alifano then asks Borges to explain the concept of metaphors. Borges tells him in reply that true metaphors have been there in existence since the beginning of time. Then he tells him that he has occasionally thought of reducing all metaphors to 5 or 6 essential metaphors. Borges is of the opinion that these essential metaphors are found in all literature, apart from many others which are whimsical. Borges then tells him that the poet has to discover metaphors, even though they may already exist. Finally, Alifano asks Borges to comment on the statement, modern developments in communications will replace books with something more dynamic that will require less time than reading. Borges tells him that books will never disappear. Then, he declares that among the many inventions of man, the book is undoubtedly the most astounding, and all the others are only extensions of our bodies. He opines that the telephone is the extension of our voice, the telescope and the microscope are extensions of our sight, and the sword and the plough are extensions of our arms. He asserts that only the book is an extension of our imagination and memory. Then Alifano asks Borges his reactions to his own statement, literature is a dream. Borges assertively tells him that it is true. He restates his statement, literature is a dream, and says that it is a controlled dream. Then he says that it is his belief that we owe literature almost everything we are, what we have been, and also what we will be, and ends saying, our past is nothing but a sequence of dreams. He concludes remarking that there can be no difference between dreaming and remembering the past. Then he declares, books are the great memory of all centuries and their function is irreplaceable. If books disappear, history will disappear and surely the man would disappear. I believe that books will never disappear. Comprehension 1. 1. I was educated more by my father's library, says Borges. He means dash. A. School or the university did not educate him. B. He was educated in his father's library too. C. He learned through private tuitions held in his father's library. Answer. B. He was educated in his father's library too. 2. Why did Borges feel guilty about his mother? Answer. His mother's dedication to nurturing him was immense. He had misused her love as he had taken her for granted and never gave her his love and affection in return. 3. According to Borges, blindness is dash. A. Just a physical handicap. B. Not a misfortune. C. Actually a resource. Answer. C. Actually a resource. 4. Why does Borges prefer to believe that he is not blind? Answer. He believes in optimism than pessimism. If he were to believe that he was blind, it would affect his future, but if he takes it positively and uses it as raw material, it helps his future. Hence he believes in optimism. 5. Borges feels that when we read a book, what matters is not the author's intention, but what sense we get out of it. True, false? Answer. True. 6. How, according to Borges, does the book go beyond the author's intention? Answer. According to Borges, in every book, there is a need for something more, which is always mysterious. A book can be full of errors, we can reject its author's opinions, disagree with him or her, but the book always retains something sacred, something mortal, and something magical which brings happiness. Thus, the book goes beyond the author's intention. 7. When does the poetic act happen, according to Borges? Answer. According to Borges, the poetic act happens when the poet writes it and the reader reads it. 8. What cannot be defined without oversimplifying it? Answer. Poetry is something so intimate and essential that it cannot be defined without oversimplifying it. 9. Which is the most astounding invention of man? Answer. Book is undoubtedly the most astounding invention of man. I believe that books will never disappear. Comprehension 2. 1. Why does Borges feel remorseful after his mother's death regarding his relationship with her? Can this experience be generalized? Or, how does Borges describe his mother and his feelings for her in his interview? Answer. During the course of his interview with Alifano, Borges tells him that his mother was an extraordinary person who showed him a great deal of kindness in his life. Then he confesses in a remorseful tone that he could not make his mother happy because he himself was not a happy man. He also confesses that he should have shown a better understanding of his mother. This experience can be generalized because what Borges says is true of all children. It is not surprising to know, when their mothers die, most children express that they had taken their mother for granted while they were alive, like they do with the moon or the sun or the seasons, and are guilty that they had abused their mothers. 2. How does Borges elaborate on Goethe's words, "Ill that is near becomes far"? Answer. While giving his observations about blindness, Borges recalls an idea he had expressed in one of his poems. He had said that humiliation, misfortune, and discord were given to us so that we may transmute them, and make from the miserable circumstance of our life eternal works. At this juncture, Borges recalls to mind a statement made by Goethe. It says, "All that is near becomes far." In this statement, Goethe refers not only to the sunset but also to life. Borges says that in his case, the visible world has moved away from his eyes forever. He feels that it is his duty to accept his misfortune and as far as possible enjoy those things. 3. What, according to Borges, should one think of humiliations and misfortunes? Answer. Borges says that all persons must think that whatever happens to him or her is a resource. He adds that all things have been given to us for a purpose, and therefore we should think of our humiliations, misfortunes and embarrassments as raw material like clay so that we may shape our art. He says that humiliation, misfortune and discord were given to us so that we may transmute them, so that we may make from the miserable circumstance of our life eternal works or works that aspire to be so. 4. What are Borges' views on poetry and poem? Answer. Borges believes that poetry is something so intimate and so essential that it cannot be defined without oversimplifying it. Then he says that poetry is not the poem and opines that a poem may be nothing more than a series of symbols. Borges opines that poetry is the aesthetic act that takes place when the poet writes it and when the reader reads it. He believes that poetry is a magical, mysterious and unexplainable, although not an incomprehensible, event. He believes that one should feel the poetic event upon reading it, otherwise the poet should be deemed to have failed. 5. Why is it important for poetry to use language precisely? With what example does Borges demonstrate this aspect of poetic language? Or, finding precise words is important in the art of poetry. How does Borges justify this in his interview? Or, to what extent is finding the precise words important in the art of poetry, according to Borges? Answer. Borges feels that poetry needs to use language precisely. He opines that only precise words elicit the emotion. In order to prove his point, he quotes a line from Emily Dickinson, "This quiet dust was gentlemen and ladies." He argues that though the idea is banal, the poet is referring to a place which had been visited by men and women in summer. These people are now dead, and the dust she refers to is the dust of death. Instead of saying, "This quiet dust was gentlemen and ladies," if the poet had used men and women, the poem would have failed as poetry. It would have sounded trivial. 6. In spite of modern modes of communication, Borges believes that books will not disappear. Illustrate. Or why does Borges say that books will never disappear? Or, the modern developments in communications will not replace books. Explain with reference to George Louis Borges' thoughts on this. Answer. According to Borges, among the many inventions of man, the book is undoubtedly the most astounding of all. All others are extensions of our bodies. The telephone is the extension of our voice, The telescope and the microscope are extensions of our sight, and the sword and the plough are extensions of our arms. Only the book is an extension of our imagination and memory. Modern modes in communications have not developed anything to work as a substitute for our imagination and memory. I believe that books will never disappear. Comprehension 3. 1. Poetry is magical, mysterious, and unexplainable. How does Borges explain the strange aspect of poetry? Or, what are Borges's views on poetry? Answer. According to Borges, poetry is an aesthetic act, and poetry is not the poem. The poetic act takes place when the poet writes it and the reader reads it, and it always happens in a slightly different manner. When the poetic act takes place, Borges believes that we become aware of it. That is why he calls poetry as a magical, mysterious, and unexplainable event. If one does not feel the poetic event upon reading it, Borges opines that we need to conclude that the poet has failed. 2. How does Borges value literature? Why is it important for the future of mankind? Answer. According to Borges, a book is only an extension of our imagination and memory. We get access to literature through books. Literature is a dream, a controlled dream. Borges believes that we owe literature almost everything we are, what we have been, and what we will be. Our past is nothing but a sequence of dreams. He believes that there is no difference between dreaming and remembering the past. It is books that serve as the repositories of great memories of all centuries, and nothing else can replace books. Therefore, if books disappear, surely history would disappear, and along with history man would also disappear. Therefore, literature is very important for preserving the future of mankind. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Webseek Academy for more English lessons and notes. See you in the next video. Until then, keep learning and keep growing.